Joining us now with reaction and more is Yussef Gheriani. He is Director of Investments at IHT Wealth Management. Yussef, good to have you on Fast Money and CNBC. Thanks very much for joining us. Do you agree with Chamal? I mean, he's a billionaire. I guess hard to disagree with him here, but you think that he's making the structural argument for basically politics not mattering for the equity markets?
I disagree with that. I think politics do matter, but only to a small degree. Right. I think over the medium to long term, really what you're going to see is the market's going to continue to go up and you have to be in equities. And I think you have to be in equities, especially after we get the election, regardless of who's going to be the winner. So you got to be buying now. You got to be anticipating the run up and the cure for COVID next year and potentially more stimulus as well.
Yeah, you know, there was always this case, Yussef, for years, whatever it might be. Generally, it's financial data, not health data, where bad news is kind of good news because it meant the Fed was in play. And certainly we don't want any more bad news. We want COVID to simply go away. We want no more people to get sick and certainly no more people to die from it as well. So hopefully it'll just go away. But the idea being that if we do unfortunately get a second wave or whatever it's going to be called in the wintertime, that increases the chances of more monetary and fiscal stimulus.
Definitely. I think we get stimulus one way or another. The real question is whether we get stimulus before the election or whether we get it after the election. And in either case, right now, I think now is the time to be buying your consumer discretionary names, kind of setting yourself up for that resumption of spending in the middle of next year, middle to end of next year, once the vaccine is kind of out for everybody. Right. So in addition to that, I think you've also got to be you can't not bet on the American consumer. Right. People have money to spend and people want to spend it. You have to bet on them.
Hey, Yussef, it's Tim Seymour. Thanks for joining us. So I don't actually agree that you've seen monetary and fiscal coupled. I think the more important thing for the market going forward in the short term is actually the upcoming earnings season. Where do you actually expect disappointment out of companies that have pulled a lot of good news forward in terms of cost savings and maybe even their outlook?
I think you've got to be cautious on anything to do with financials, anything to do with insurance. I think a lot of the insurance companies, right, when you've got low rates like this, they've got to have a portion of their books in fixed income. And quite frankly, there's no money to be made there, right? So I think they're going to struggle. I don't think they have a lot of opportunities to try to pad their books, and it's hard for them to increase premiums right now. So I think insurance companies are probably going to be really hesitant around them.
All right, a couple of picks here from you, Yussef. What's interesting is that you think that utilities, I mean, they used to be boring, but they've made people a lot of money in the last 12 to 18 months. Utilities could do well under either administration.
Yeah. So I think especially for people who are looking for safety right now, utilities are a pick that regardless of what happens with the election, I think you're going to get stimulus next year. You have people going back to business. That's good for them. If Trump wins, you probably get deregulation. Deregulation is going to be good for the utilities. You're going to get more mergers. You saw Duke and NextEra. They're talking about things today. Right. And if Biden wins, you're probably going to get some sort of new Green Deal or some sort of infrastructure spending bill that's going to be beneficial for them. So regardless of which, kind of who wins, you've got a lot of tailwinds and then low interest rates and dividend payments. You got to love that in this kind of environment.
I know you also like Purple, the mattress company, and Facebook. Do yourself a favor. Don't watch The Social Dilemma. I watched it last night. If you own Facebook, you might think twice. Yussef Gheriani, great to have you on the program, buddy. We'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. All right, so Karen, he talked about stimulus there. He answered Tim's question on that as well. He made the case for utilities. Your take on Yussef's picks and thoughts?
Well, Facebook is one that he likes and one that I've owned for a while. I did not watch Social Dilemma last night. I was watching that other ridiculous entertainment. I don't even know what to call it. So, I mean, Facebook, I just think small businesses need advertising. This is the place they have to go. It's not crazy expensive either.
Yeah, there you go. Not crazy expensive.